in particular appears to be experiencing an uptick in federal immigration activity. Several people were detained this weekend following raids at a car wash and also a Home Depot. KTLA's Rachel Menitoff is live in the KTLA News Center with the latest tonight. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Karine. Hi, MB. The city of Anaheim specifically says it's seeing an increase in arrests and more significant ICE activity ever since a temporary restraining order went into place, limiting what federal agents can do. It's one of several SoCal areas warning residents about specific locations being targeted and sharing real updates on its website. Crowds of people demonstrating in the streets of Cypress Park near Dodger Stadium, calling for a stop to what they're calling disruptive and harmful federal immigration raids. 2 weeks ago, a U.S. Court of Appeals reinforced a temporary restraining order barring Customs and Border Protection from stopping people without reasonable suspicion. Still, many activists say the detainments seem to happen daily.
Well, forcing federal law is fine. I mean, but we have to have due process. Where are these people being taken to? Do they have access to counsel? Do they appear in front of a judge?
On Saturday alone, Anaheim city officials say they recorded a number of incidents, including this one. People heard shrieking as they watched a man wrestled to the ground at a car wash on Euclid Street near La Palma. This is the third time this particular business has been visited by federal agents since July 3rd. Another raid happened at a Home Depot on Brookhurst Street. Agents appear to pursue several day laborers in the parking lot. The city says this Home Depot has been targeted half a dozen times since June. And for those concerned about immigration enforcement, this should be considered a very high-risk site.
Hey, he's not doing nothing.
Video posted to social media shows agents handcuffing a man at Chapman Car Wash in Garden Grove. The Department of Homeland Security hasn't said how many people were detained here.
What do you want? What do you want? Identification.
In San Bernardino, DHS officials fired at a car with 3 people inside, saying the driver hit and injured 2 of its officers with his truck and refused to comply during a traffic stop.
Hey, you can't do that!
Through a spokesperson, the father and son-in-law see here recording the exchange tell a different story. They describe federal agents refusing to identify themselves and without a valid warrant, adding the officers shattered their window before they were able to escape and call police. The driver at the center of it is apparently an undocumented immigrant with no criminal record. The city of Anaheim and other law enforcement departments say they are not a part of these raids and they don't have any kind of advanced warning about when they're going to happen. That's the very latest in the news center. I'm Rachel Menitoff, MB. Back to you.
All right, Rachel, thank you. A frightening home invasion in Redondo Beach. 2 people zip-tied and held by masked intruders for hours. This happened just before 6 this morning on Matthews Avenue. The victims were bounded for possibly as long as 2 hours. Police responded to the scene after receiving calls about a man pointing a gun at another person. Police chased and arrested the suspects believed responsible. The incident has left residents on edge.
One of those things where, we all think about it, that not in my backyard, right? But it's happening in our backyard. And that's, it's happening. So it's terrifying.
The 2 suspects are originally from New York, and it's not clear what they were doing in the South Bay. They're facing charges of robbery, burglary, and kidnapping.
And let's head east. Developing news out of New York City. Detectives are searching for 4 gunmen who opened fire inside a Brooklyn nightclub, killing 3 people and wounding 9 more in an apparent gang-related attack early this morning. Surveillance video shows one of the injured collapsing on the ground as patrons run for their lives. A 19-year-old man died at the scene. 2 other men, ages 35 and 27, died after being taken to a hospital.
Gun violence of this magnitude, it really scars a community and a city. But we will continue to fight to do everything that's possible to continue to take illegal guns off our street.
And those wounded today are being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The crime is a second mass shooting within weeks in New York City. If you recall, last month, a man entered a Manhattan office tower with a rifle, wounding 1 person and killing 4 others, including an officer.
A woman is dead and a man is injured after a shooting in Harvard Heights last night. Police said that a man was assaulting a woman around 10:30 outside an apartment complex on St. Andrews Place near Pico Boulevard. Now, a man in a passing car saw what happened and tried to intervene in the attack. And well, that's when police say the suspect opened fire, shooting the Good Samaritan and the woman. She later died at the hospital, and the Good Samaritan is in stable condition. Now, an earlier statement from the LAPD to Ktladt indicated that the suspect took his own life, but they later said that the suspect is still on the loose.
And elsewhere, gunfire erupts outside a house party in Covina, killing a teenage boy. This happened around 10:15 last night at a home on the 600 block of East Camellia Drive. Authorities say at least 100 teenagers were in attendance, most between the ages of 16 to 18. Video shows officers detaining several people at the scene. It's unclear what led to the shooting. The investigation is ongoing.
It's been 2 long and painful years for a local family whose beloved daughter, sister, and friend was abducted from a Whittier park and killed back in 2023. 19-year-old Andrea Vasquez, accused killer, was arrested a day after the abduction.
And tonight, her loved ones held a remembrance in her honor. KTLA's Carlos Acedo is live in Whittier with more. Hi, Carlos.
Hey ladies, good evening. It was a big turnout tonight to remember a young woman whose life was tragically cut short in a random act of violence. The details so disturbing, so gruesome.
Remembering a young woman taken too soon. More than 100 people came out to Penn Park in Whittier Sunday afternoon to celebrate the life of Andrea Vasquez. Friends and family gathered for a memorial service, including Andrea's mom.
I'm feeling grateful to see everybody here. 2 years.
It's been 2 years since the 19-year-old was abducted at the park in what was described as a random attack.
I feel like we've all been through a lot these past 2 years, and I think it's very beautiful that the community is still together for her, and I will always forever show up for her and celebrate her existence.
Andrea was with her then boyfriend in a parked car at the curb when another vehicle pulled up and fired a shot, striking Andrea. Her boyfriend ran for help, but when he returned, Andrea was gone. Her phone was traced to an open field in Moreno Valley. That's where authorities would later find her body. Gabriel Sean Esparza was arrested for murder and kidnapping.
It was a pain, indescribable pain that you don't believe that there's a person who can do that.
After multiple delays, prosecutors say they're moving forward with the criminal case in hopes of bringing closure to the family. Andrea brought laughter and joy to those around her. She loved sewing clothes and was going to school to become a seamstress. Now those closest to her are left to hold on to those precious memories.
I actually started a brand of myself called Dreamfire, and it would send memories of her and my grandma, because my grandma was a seamstress too. So I try to, I'm trying to do that in honor of her.
Again, it has been 2 years, but the family is hopeful justice will be served. Reporting live tonight in Whittier, Carlos Salcedo, KTLA 5 News.
Carlos, thank you for that. And now on to some sad news out of Hollywood. British actor Terence Stamp has died.
You alone will condemn us if you wish, and